Let's get it poppin'. James 4th, I'm back. We back, Big City. Let's get it poppin', man, I'm strictly ball dropping. Let's get it poppin', man, I'm strictly ball dropping. You must love us cause you can't stop watching. You must love us cause you can't stop watching. Let's get it poppin', man, I'm simply ball dropping like it's New Year's Eve. Boys, James IV, that's Roman numeral 4 off the top with the intro. What up, K-Sap, no cap, that's the big bro. You know the ladies hold it down for the team. We be the hottest on this YouTube screens. We got sports, media, news, that round table talk. Them other parts ain't got the same sauce. Nah, hit us in the chat, but no haters allowed. Send you to the block party, what you gotta say now? We on live, hit us up and subscribe. If you like it to share, show love instead of staring. Man behind the mic, numbers don't lie. Send me a super chat to all that may apply. Ain't no party like an SPD party. Let's get the show started, pull up, everybody. Let's get it poppin', man, I'm simply ball dropping. Let's get it poppin', man, I'm simply ball dropping. You must love us cause you can't stop watching. You must love us cause you can't stop watching.
Yes, yes, yes. You know who it is. It's your favorite host, the man behind the mic of the Simply Ball Dropping podcast, K-Sap. What's up? What's up? What's up? Well, guys, man, that'll be your wraps for your Cleveland Browns 2025 football season, and they went out on a high note. A lot of things transpired. Got to take your hat off to Myles Garrett, became the all-time sack leader. Also, you got to take your hat off to Andre Smith for the game-winning field goal, because a lot of people wrote Andre Smith off after the first game when he missed the field goal and a potentially tying field goal. And the only one that went over there to console him was Shedeur Sanders. And everybody wanted to put the limelight on Shedeur, talking about, why did he do that? Did he just want to get some notoriety and things like that? And then also you got to take your hat off to Shedeur Sanders. Back-to-back wins for the Cleveland Browns to close out the season, 5-12. But you got to look at it like this. What are they going to say now? What can the haters say now? And what I will say is he got it done when it mattered. He got it done in the 2-minute drive, just like everybody know he's capable of doing. The game started out, he had the fumble, but won't nobody say nothing about Joe Burrow's pick 6. They'll just sweep that under the rug. But you think about everything that I have been saying ever since we've been covering this. If they would have started the season out with Shedeur Sanders behind the helm, Cleveland would have been a formidable opponent for anybody they played, and they could have made a run at the AFC North. They could have made a run at playoff contentions. I don't care what people say about the player Shedeur Sanders. You can say, he didn't perform well. Shedeur got it done when it mattered most. He responded after Joe Burrow's marched Cincinnati Bengals down the field to take the game, winning the game, go-ahead score with Jamar Chase. And Shedeur Sanders did not get rattled. He came out there, he got behind the chains, but he made a big throw to Jerry Jeudy to keep the chains alive twice. Jerry Jeudy has showed up when it mattered most for the Cleveland Browns these last 2 weeks. We got a Jerry Jeudy sighting. And Jerry Jeudy caught the ball. A lot of people in Cleveland held their breath because the ball was right there and he fumbled the ball, but he got back possession of it to extend the chains, to keep that drive alive, for Shedeur Sanders to get him down there in field goal range, and for Oscar Smith to close it out. Now, I told you guys, I'm going to stick with this motto, man. Overall, man, this Cleveland Browns team is just bad. Shedeur Sanders today played with so many makeshift people, and they still got it done. Even in the second half, the defense, without their starting corners, they still held it down. The defense played lights out. Shout out to Myles Garrett for doing what Myles Garrett does. And the crazy thing about it is Shedeur got it done when people said he couldn't get it done, man. So hats off to Shedeur. That was a legendary drive in the 2-minute drive under pressure, and he still got it done. Yeah, Jerry Jeudy does got to work on them hands. A lot of balls that be hitting his hands, he don't catch the ball with his hands. He catch the ball with his body, and the ball hit off his shoulder pads. But with everything that Shedeur Sanders was up against and all the players that are in and out of the lineup, and for him to be composed and hold his posture like that and still get it done. In Cincinnati, they wanted to get that win. And, shout out to the Cleveland Browns team for not quitting on Kevin Stefanski, because they could have quit on Kevin Stefanski. They could have dialed it in. You know what I'm saying? But they went out there and performed. And even though Shedeur Sanders passed 11 for 22 for 111 yards, he did take the 6 sacks. But you got to understand something. That offensive line is terrible. Cam Robinson, I don't know what Cam Robinson be doing. If you listen to the game and watch the game and you heard the announcers, what was they saying about Cam Robinson's? Like, he is just missing so many opportunities to pick up blocks. And every time Shedeur Sanders gets a chance to throw the ball, he always got people in his face. Even the one he was backed up in the end zone, he got the ball away to Tillman, and then he got the roughing the passer. So they be teeing off on him. And every time Shedeur drops back and you think he got a clean pocket, he's running for his life. And I hear the announcer saying, well, he got to get the ball away quicker. How quick do you want Shedeur Sanders to get the ball off? Every time he steps back, the defensive line is in his face. And that's the problem. And that's why I said I'm standing on business. They need to build around Shedeur Sanders. They got a lot of momentum going into this offseason. And see, what happened was Shedeur Sanders threw a monkey wrench in everybody's system, because Shedeur Sanders got these back-to-back victories. So that goes to show that Cleveland moved down in the draft. So y'all can forget about them drafting Mendoza or Moore. The reports out there that Dante Moore is going back to school. He's not going to come out in the NFL draft, but Mendoza is coming out. You can stick a fork in that Mendoza stuff, because now you got to give up all your draft picks to move up to get Mendoza. Mendoza is going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. So you got to look at it like this. Shedeur Sanders has done enough to keep that starting job. They don't need to bring no more quarterbacks in there. You got 3 quarterbacks on your roster, because you know that Deshaun Watson is going to be back next year in that locker room. So you got Deshaun Watson and Dylan Gabriel. If you can get another guy, because they still got Bailey Zappi on the practice squad, but if you can get another guy in there to compete, but you got to spend and be committed to Shedeur Sanders all the way through. You got to be committed with Shedeur Sanders. And I don't care what nobody says. You look at all the pieces of the puzzles that Shedeur Sanders had to play with. Just look at everything in totality of what Shedeur Sanders done with the limited personnel that he had, and to come out and get the victory. And like I said, Cincinnati wanted that victory in front of their home crowd to close that season out. They wanted that. I know a lot of people want Kevin Stefanski to go, but who do you bring in? Like I told y'all, I know y'all gonna be pissed off at me because I told y'all, I know y'all want Kevin Stefanski to go, but I think Kevin Stefanski might survive. Kevin Stefanski might survive because you just look at what Shedeur Sanders was up against, and he prevailed. All the offensive linemen, this is his 7th game starting, and he has had 12 different offensive line combinations that he has played with, and he still has got it done. That young man is relentless. And like I said, I know y'all want Kevin Stefanski to go, but it's going to be hard to bring another coach in there, and because you got to commit to Shedeur Sanders. You got to commit to Shedeur Sanders. No, I want to see Kevin Stefanski going as well, but I'm not going to say nothing until it happens. You know, that's just me. I'm not going to say nothing until it happens. And then also you got to look at all the injuries that Shedeur Sanders players had that are key. Quinshon Judkins, David Njoku, Harold Fanning. Harold Fanning was his best target. So listen, don't misquote me. I want to see Kevin Stefanski going, but at the same time, if he's not going, don't get mad at me because I said it's a possibility that he will return. But I want him going as well because you need a coach to come in that's going to commit to Shedeur Sanders and going to be on the same page. That whole, if you look at the whole Browns offensive coaching staff, they need to clean house. They need to clean house. But, you know, you got to give kudos to Shedeur Sanders for everything that the naysayers said about him, for all the hate that he has endured, for all the false reporting from people like Anthony Lima, Jason Lloyd, Ross Tucker, people like that, even Jason Whitlock and things like that. And for him to come out and be the last man standing for everything that they've thrown at him, the makeshift offensive line, the sabotaging, so many countless videos out there, people putting at the offensive line, just letting people walk through to get at Shedeur Sanders. Everything that he has done, he has overcame. And that goes to show you that this man is built tough, man. Sometimes you can't, they don't make him like that no more. And Shedeur Sanders, he just got it. He just got that it factor, man. He got that it factor. So it's like, we can sit there and say that all the people that hate on Shedeur Sanders, we see all the comments in the comment sections about Shedeur is bad and, you know, Shedeur ain't it. Shedeur don't do this. Shedeur don't do that. Well, I'm here to tell you, man, Shedeur Sanders got back-to-back victories. When is the last time a rookie quarterback for the Cleveland Browns got back-to-back victories? When was the last time that a rookie quarterback on their first start got a victory for the Cleveland Browns? I can't name none but Shedeur Sanders. I can't name another rookie for Cleveland that threw for over 360 some yards with 3 throwing touchdowns and one rushing touchdown in the game. I can't mention none of them. Only one that I see is Shedeur Sanders. Now we got the people that want to talk about, oh, that was all the defense. Yes, it was all the defense, right? But the defense gave up the go-ahead score too, right? Did the defense give up the go-ahead score? And then the ball was put back in the Cleveland Browns' hand. Didn't Shedeur Sanders march him down the game-winning drive to set Oscar Smith up for the game-winning field goal? See, y'all missed the match. Y'all missed that. Yeah, y'all can say it was all the defense. The defense played lights out. Two defensive touchdowns, right? 2 defensive touchdowns. But they gave up up the go-ahead score. And Shedeur Sanders came back when it mattered and got him down the field for the game-winning field goal. But y'all don't want to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about that. See, you got people coming in here talking about Shedeur is garbage. See, that's the haters. See, they can't stand it because Shedeur Sanders got the victory. They don't want to talk about that. They want to come in here and talk about that was all the defense. But didn't the defense give up the go-ahead score to Jamar Chase? And then Shedeur Sanders got the ball back? Didn't Shedeur Sanders lead the Cleveland Browns down the field to get them in position for Oscar Smith to kick the game-winning field goal? Did y'all don't want to talk about that though, right? All y'all want to do is come in here and deflect and move the goalposts and give credit to other people outside of Shedeur Sanders. That's the problem that we have. Just like G. Bush said, you got to give credit when credit is due. Just like he gave credit to Kevin Stefanski last game for calling timeouts and being passionate about getting that victory against Pittsburgh. You got to give credit to Shedeur Sanders for getting the ball back with an opportunity with 1 minute and 39 seconds left, 2 timeouts to march his team down the field to put him in position to win. But y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all want to talk about the defense. Yeah, we giving kudos to the defense. The defense had 2 scores. But y'all don't want to talk about the fact when it mattered most, Shedeur Sanders shut the haters down and he got it done when it mattered. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all want to move the goalposts and talk about Shedeur is garbage. Well, if you're garbage, you just don't move your team down the field in crunch time when it matters most in the 2-minute drill when it's legendary, wrist up, and you get it done. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all do not want to talk about that. We don't even want to talk about Jay Crawford and Jason Lloyd. See, this is stuff that y'all don't want to talk about. See, y'all go with these narratives that people talk about. Y'all don't want to talk about the facts, man. Y'all don't want to talk about the facts of football. But if that was Tom Brady and the defense played as well as Cleveland's defense played, and Tom Brady leads the New England Patriots down in a 2-minute drive and they get the win, y'all going to be all, Brady's the GOAT. He's the best thing since sliced bread. Why come y'all can't give kudos to Shedeur Sanders for doing the same thing that Tom Brady has did majority of his career? Marched the team down the field when it counted and got the W. See, y'all don't want to talk about that. All y'all want to come in here and talk about, oh, the defense played lights out. The defense won that game. The defense was the one that gave up the go-ahead score to Jamar Chase. But see, y'all don't want to talk about that. But then when we talk about Shedeur Sanders leading that team down and getting them in position to win the ball game, y'all want to sweep that under the rug like it never happened. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all don't want to talk about the fact that Joe Burrows threw a 95-yard pick six. See, y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all want to sweep that under the rug too. Y'all want to sweep the fact of a Hall of Fame quarterback in Peyton Manning only had 3 wins his rookie year. And he started every game. Shedeur Sanders started 7 games and won 3 of them. Y'all don't want to talk about that. See, that's the stuff that people that's just the hate. Get the hate out your heart, man. Please get the hate out your heart, man. Y'all got to stop this. And see, the problem is y'all so mad that we talk facts about Shedeur that we got to be a part of Shedeur caught. And that's the reason why y'all come in here to hate the way y'all do. And that's some of the stuff that we see online the Cleveland media, the Cleveland insiders with their narratives that they have. Like, it's just crazy. But don't nobody want to talk about nothing good that Shedeur Sanders did. First thing y'all want to come in here, say Shedeur is garbage. He's not him. The defense. But y'all don't want to give kudos to Shedeur Sanders. Now, if Shedeur Sanders would not have led that team down the field for the win, y'all would have came in here, y'all would have been roasting him. Oh, he had an opportunity, but he came up short. Y'all not criticizing Shedeur, y'all hating Shedeur. So I don't want to hear talk about all criticism isn't hate. Y'all's criticism comes from a hatred part. Because y'all never give this man any credit for the good things that he does. Y'all want to focus on, he threw an interception, or he fumbled the ball. But you don't want to say he got it done when it mattered most. Sometimes you just got to tip your cap. You got to tip your cap. He got it done. It was 3rd down and 10, and he threw a pass to Jerry Jeudy to extend the play to get the first down. And then he threw another pass to Jerry Jeudy to get him on the other side of the field. And then he threw a pass to Tillman, and then they ran the ball for the last 2 to get him in better position to kick a much closer field goal. But y'all don't want to give him that. Y'all don't want to give him that. Everything Shedeur is up against, the offensive line that he's played with. And he hasn't complained one single bit. Shedeur hasn't complained one single bit about his offensive line. Has never threw nobody under the bus. Shedeur Sanders, he just takes a lick and keeps on ticking. Like I told you, even when Shedeur throws a clean ball and they make receptions, Shedeur Sanders is still getting knocked to his ass. Still getting knocked to his ass. And then also, the pass that he threw to the 3rd string tight end that got moved up from the practice squad in the end zone where he couldn't come down with it. You can't throw a better ball than that. You can't throw a better ball than that. Exactly. If Jackson Dart would have beat Burrows, they'd have come in here and then glazing him. That's the crazy thing about it, man. Let's get to some of these comments, man. When Mary Kay said Shedeur was behind the learning curve and Dylan processes like a computer, she was calling Dylan intelligent and calling Shedeur dumb. That is a hateful lie. Exactly. See, that's not criticism. That's hate. I'm glad you pointed that out, Leaping Cat Production. That's hate. Let's go to Ariel. Ariel said the hate is real. If Jackson Dart beats Burrows, they would be drooling. That's absolutely correct. Somebody said, where's Dylan now? They don't even talk to Dylan. Dylan's like an afterthought. Classy Katina said, 3 wins out of 7 games. I stand with Shedeur Sanders, QB1 in 2026. Give him some weapons and build around him. That's what I've always been saying, Classy Katina. Just give him some weapons and build around him. Get him a new offensive line. Get him one of them big playmaking wide receivers, man. And prayers up to Quinshon Judkins for a speedy recovery. Isaiah said the CBS media gave Shedeur love, their Cleveland local media. Exactly. If you listen to the guys that call the game, you go back to last week when Tony Romo was calling the game against Pittsburgh, giving Shedeur Sanders his props. Talk about this is high-level quarterback play. But you got these clowns that come in the chat and just be hating. See, this is the stuff I'm talking about. Praxis, you a clown. He's not Peyton Manning, he's Shedeur. It was the opportunity for Shedeur to make a statement, and he didn't make a statement today. Yes, he did make a statement because he led the team down the field in the 2-minute drive, and he got the victory. That's what you want in your quarterback. You want your quarterback to respond through adversity, and he responded through adversity. What he did was after Joe Burrows led Cincinnati Bengals down the field with the go-ahead score with Jamar Chase, Shedeur Sanders had a chance to be legendary. And that's what he was. He marched the team down the field, put the team in position for the field goal kicker to win the game. And that's what Shedeur Sanders did. So statements like that, you talking about he didn't make a statement. Shedeur Sanders made a statement because when you need somebody in a 2-minute drive, Shedeur Sanders got it done. And that's a statement. And that's a statement. Man Down Sports said 3 wins out of 6 starts in 2 games of the coaching staff and special teams blow it. He could have 5 wins and more TDs if they didn't pull him on the goal line in the first 2 weeks. I agree with that, Man Down Sports. See, that's what I'm saying, Man Down Sports. See, you got a lot of clowns that come in here and just want to spirit his narrative and all this other stuff about Shedeur, and they don't see the facts. They don't watch the game. They go with what people tell them. They go with other people's narratives. But if you watch the game for what it is and you see what Shedeur Sanders is out there doing, you take the ball out of his hands when you get him all the way down to the goal line. You want to take him out, put a wildcat situation in there. You want to take the ball out of the hands of the person that got you down the field. And then you got cats coming here today talking about he didn't make a statement. Yes, he did make a statement because he got the victory when it mattered most, and that's in the 2-minute drive. That's equivalent to basketball. What matters most is when the game is close and the clock's winding down and you got 35, 40 seconds on the clock. It matters who makes that shot to close the game. And Shedeur Sanders closed that game out today. He got him down the field and put him in position to win, and that's all that matters. He got the victory. And that's what people are so mad about. People are mad that Shedeur Sanders got the dub today. And this is going to be the whole talk of the whole offseason. What is Cleveland going to do? What are they going to do with the ownership? What are they going to do with the head coach? What are they going to do with Shedeur Sanders? What they need to do with Shedeur Sanders is build around Shedeur Sanders. Go into this 2026 draft with a strategy where you're going to get some offensive linemen, where you're going to get a big play receiver. He's not playing for more than victories. Football, you want to get victories. All that other stuff is going to come. All that other stuff is going to come. So whoever this Praximus guy is, I just Praxi 578. I don't understand your angle. I don't understand your position, but I just don't understand where you're coming from. See, you the type that don't want to see Shedeur Sanders excel. That's why you're saying some of the things that you are saying. It ain't the fact about him stunk it up. Shedeur Sanders got the victory. Shedeur Sanders got the victory. Cleveland Browns got the victory. See, you take that up with the CU aunties. You take that up with the Shedeur aunties. Shedeur got the victory. And like I said, I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. If this was Tom Brady, at the way the game was going today, and Tom Brady performed the same way Shedeur did, and then he got a chance to win it in the last possession, and he won the game, y'all be glorifying. Oh, he's the GOAT. That's why he's the GOAT, because this is what he does in the 2-minute offense. What Shedeur Sanders always tells you, that this what matters most, the 2-minute drive. He got the confidence and he got the faith and the ability to get it done. And that's what he did today. But y'all can't even acknowledge that. Y'all focus on something different. Let's go to the comments. 420 Jenkins said, I never seen a so-called fans mad because their team won. That's the problem, Jenkins. That's the problem. And it's people that say the stuff that they say. They just be talking. A pair of lips to say anything. That's what I'm saying. And the crazy thing about it is, like you said, Nicefield said, Shedeur came back with the victory. That's what hurts the most. Because Shedeur Sanders got the victory. Shedeur was terrible. This is, if Tom Brady does the exact same thing Shedeur said, would y'all say Tom Brady was terrible? I'll say Joe Burrows was terrible. He threw a 95-yard pick six. Was Joe Burrows terrible today? He threw a 95-yard pick six. Because if that was Shedeur Sanders, had the same stats as Joe Burrows, but threw a 95-yard pick six, that's what y'all will be focusing on. And for Shedeur Sanders to come out and get the win with the pieces that he got around him in an NFL game, you got to give him kudos, man. Like I said, hey, perfect. Let's go to the comments. Brother Joma said, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Exactly. And to do this as a rookie, for so much scrutiny that he's going through, for all the backlash that he's gotten, and he still prevailed. And he still prevailed. Hey, Turnbug 100 said, I'll say it. Joe Burrows was terrible. Yeah, because he didn't get the victory. Because I'll say it this way. Even though Shedeur Sanders threw for 363 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown against Tennessee, and they lost, a lot of people said Shedeur was terrible because he didn't make enough plays to get it done. But we all saw how the coaches botched that up. But they don't want to give Shedeur Sanders credit for marching down the field and winning the game. They don't want to give Shedeur Sanders credit for marching down the field, winning the game. That's what I'm talking about. Then you had Myles Garrett go out there and do the things that Myles Garrett did when all the pressure was on him trying to get that sack record, and he got the sack record. Kudos to him. But see, nobody wants to focus on that. Everybody wants to come in here and focus on talking about Shedeur was terrible, where there's other things that happened in the game that y'all can't even acknowledge. Y'all can't even acknowledge that. The haters can't acknowledge that Myles Garrett is the sack leader of all times. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all want to talk about Shedeur was terrible, but Shedeur got the victory. Make it make sense, man. Make it make sense, man. You play to win the football game. And Shedeur Sanders had a chance to win the football game, and he came out there and he won the football game when it mattered. I don't care what went on through the course of the game, but when it mattered most, what happened? Shedeur Sanders got the ball with 1 minute and 39 seconds left, 2 timeouts, started from the 26-yard line, and he marched his team down to the 35-yard line of the Cincinnati Bengals to put Andre Smith in position to kick the game-winning 49-yard field goal. And you tell me y'all can't clap it up for Shedeur Sanders for doing that. And that goes to show that y'all just don't like Shedeur. That's the problem. That's the problem. I don't care what y'all say. That is the problem. He got him down the football field, gave his kicker a chance to win the game, and that's what the kicker gets paid to do, kick field goals. And Oscar Smith came through. But don't nobody want to say the game that Tyler Shuck had today, losing to the Atlanta Falcons. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the Jackson Darts of the world. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about none of that. They want to come in here and hate on our brother Shedeur Sanders. This is what I'm talking about. A rookie quarterback with everything that Shedeur Sanders has been up against. But look, everybody wanted to bury the hatch on Andre Smith early in the season. All the Cleveland media was at Andre Smith neck. And the only one that stood up for Andre Smith was Shedeur Sanders. And just so happened, this is how things come back full circle. You was in that position week 1 to get it done. You didn't get it done. You never hung your hat. Shedeur Sanders was there to pick you up. And now when Shedeur Sanders needed you most, you came through for Shedeur on the kick to win the game today. That's what I'm talking about. And see Hog Boss, you make a legitimate case here. Joe Burrows had T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, arguably probably one of the top 2 duos in the NFL, and they still didn't get it done. Y'all lost to a rookie quarterback in Shedeur Sanders with the limited weapons he had in the defense that they played. But the defense was bend, don't break. But they broke with 1 minute and 40 seconds left because they gave up the game go-ahead score to Jamar Chase. But what happened? The ball had to get back into hands of the rookie quarterback. And in that particular drive, Shedeur Sanders did not make no mistakes. Shedeur Sanders marched them from the 26-yard line all the way down to the opponent's 35-yard line to set up for a 49-yard field goal on 2 crucial throws on 3rd down. And Oscar Smith came in there and he won the game. And he came in there and won the game. And if y'all can't see that for what it is, and y'all can't give Shedeur Sanders no kudos for that, then I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what else we talking about. I don't know what else we talking about. Because if you listen to all the mainstream media, what it says is what matters most when the game is on the line and you get an opportunity in a 2-minute drive to close the game off. That's what you want in your quarterback. And Shedeur Sanders did that, and y'all don't even want to recognize that. Y'all don't even want to recognize that. That is terrible, man. But if that was somebody like Brock Purdy, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, all mainstream media and all y'all cats be like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Got it done. What's the difference? Just because Shedeur Sanders is a black quarterback and he's a rookie and he got it done? Is it the fact that some of y'all still want to see Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders took the reins from him and Dylan Gabriel never got an opportunity to get back in there? Is that what it is? Is that the problem? Is that the problem with some people that making these comments, man? Is that the problem? I think it's the problem. I think the problem is that Shedeur Sanders got an opportunity and he shut a lot of folks up. I don't care what the Cleveland insider media says about he still has something else that he has to prove. We still got to see more from Shedeur. No, you don't need to see more from Shedeur. You need to commit to Shedeur Sanders. This upcoming offseason, he needs to get all the first-team reps. You need to put a coaching staff around him that wants to win and that only has Shedeur's best interests. Give Shedeur Sanders a completely different playbook because some of the play calls are still suspect to me. Because if you're asking your quarterback to drop back and throw the ball that many times, you got to have a run game. You have to soften it up, because what happened is the start of the second half, what happened? They was in up tempo and they ran the ball successfully. That's why that play action worked to that tight end, but he missed the ball. He didn't catch the ball. So y'all missed me with that. Y'all got to miss me with that. Shedeur Sanders did what he was supposed to do and he won the game. That's just the bottom line. Kudos to Shedeur Sanders. Let's get to the comment section. K-Sap, the NFL is crazy. Remember Doug Williams won the Super Bowl and broke all the records. The NFL kicked him out of the NFL in the same way in 2026. They not even complaining about the dime Shedeur threw and was dropped. No, just one quarterback was terrible. Wow. That's what they do. Stefanski and the O-line must go. That's what they do. The haters are in full force today. See, this is what happens. When Shedeur Sanders gets the wins and be legendary, the haters are out in full force. They are out in full force, man. The haters are in full force, man. The haters are in full force, man. That's the crazy thing about it is the haters are out in full drove, man. Let's get to the press conference. Let's go ahead and let's see what they talk about in this press conference, man. Let's see what they want to talk about in this press conference, man.
Those guys, and I'll take any questions you guys have.
What do you think in there as you cross the 15?
Well, I would first start with Grant Delpit making a great play on the 2 point to make it a win. I mean, otherwise you're going for a tie game. So I told Grant when he came off the field, I said, dude, that play, you just won the game because we're about to kick a field goal. And then felt
y'all let me know if y'all can hear that in the chat.
Good for both teams in the kicking game. So felt once we got around that 35, we were in range for Andre.
What about Andre? 248 or
218? Yeah, that wasn't by design. Yeah, incredible. Like I told you, can't write a better script, not even you, Tony. And just proud of him for game one against that same team to then bounce back and be so good for this football team. And I honestly do not believe anybody on that sideline had any doubt in their mind that ball was going through the uprights. That's just who the kid is.
How important is that moment for Shedeur? It wasn't the easiest game for him.
Yeah, I told him at halftime, I said, that's why it's a 60-minute football game. We get to play 30 more minutes, and we were not perfect on offense by any stretch of the imagination, but came through when we had to come through. Needed to go on a drive there to get in field goal range, made some plays. Again, just a bunch of fighters on that team.
And then just hearing you celebrate with your team in the locker room, seeing you final celebration all over you. Just how much do you want to continue on with this football team, and do you think that your job can be saved in these kind of
Respectfully, this game's not about me. I told you guys that. I'm proud of that group for fighting.
Kevin, you talk a lot about blinders and focus on forward and don't worry about it. For this team, with the way this season has gone, with all the outside noise and everything, I mean, it would be easy to get late to not keep fighting. But can you just kind of expand on the makeup of that? Could you tell early on that this team had that type of fight?
Yeah, listen, I know there's there comes a time where you reflect. I'm not there yet. I'm just kind of focused on this one. And I knew all week these guys wanted to get this one. We wanted to even the series versus Cincinnati. We dropped that first one of the season. We weren't happy about that. And we had an opportunity to go out here today and get a win. I'm really proud of guys that stepped up in that game. D'Angelo going in there at corner, Sam Webb going in at corner, with guys going in and out of injury, guys unavailable pregame, before the game, Carson, Harold, Dave. So just having guys step up, I think is a great thing to acknowledge with this football team. That's kind of been the story of the season. Step up. We need you. Yeah, again, very proud of him. Confidence in him never wavered. Felt like it was the right thing to do to keep him where he was. He showed in practice all the time that he was very consistent. So, like I mentioned to you guys earlier, I really had no doubt he would make that.
Did you have a good look of Miles Ricketts?
I did not have a great look. I didn't. How was it?
They left him alone.
That it all depends on how the game's going, and when you're in a game where they have to score touchdowns and they have to be aggressive, that's you give Miles the opportunity to go rush one-on-one.
With all respect to your previous answer, do you expect these coaches around?
Yeah, and with all respect to that attempt by you, I'm not making the focus about me.
Kevin, with the Miles sack, we talked to you so much about how, it means a lot to him, but also to his defensive teammates. I think we obviously saw that and how they embraced that.
Yeah.
What can you say about what?
Now, y'all see what Kevin Stefanski trying to do. Kevin Stefanski trying to take a page out of Shedeur Sanders' book by not answering stupid questions, because I think that Tony Grossi and them shouldn't make this about Kevin Stefanski. The ownership got to make that decision. Don't make it about Kevin Stefanski. Don't take the focus off of what happened in that game. See, that's what the Cleveland media is trying to do. They trying to deflect too, because they not giving Shedeur Sanders his props for getting it done. They keep on trying to ask Kevin Stefanski, does he want to be back with this football team? And Kevin Stefanski keeps shutting it down, but they still want to keep asking him the same question. Let's focus on what happened today. Myles Garrett getting the sack record, Andre Smith kicking the game-winning field goal, and Shedeur Sanders leading them down to put them in position to win. Stop putting the focus on Kevin Stefanski. When you heard what Kevin Stefanski said, and just like I've been telling y'all, is all the pieces that was out of the game and all the makeshift pieces that was in the game, and for Shedeur Sanders to lead this team and still prevail and get the victory, give this man his just dues, man. Give Shedeur his props, man. Stop coming in here talking about Shedeur Sanders is this and Shedeur Sanders is that. Shedeur Sanders is what the Cleveland Browns need. And that's just the bottom line. I don't care. We can't slice it or dice it no other way. But the Cleveland media got to stop that, because the Cleveland media always wants to deflect. They're trying to put the focus on Kevin Stefanski. This is not about Kevin Stefanski today. This is about what Shedeur Sanders did as a rookie, back-to-back games against division opponents, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals, and he went out there and got it done. Kevin Stefanski will be handled by the ownership. Let the ownership do that. Stop asking him the same question over and over again. Ask him questions about, how do you think your quarterback performed today, and how do you think Shedeur Sanders is going to improve in 2026? Let's talk about that. Stop focusing on Kevin Stefanski. I don't like that. That's the Cleveland media is bad, man. Cleveland media is just bad.
Yeah, I mean that's history. I mean, he's the sack king. I mean that's unbelievable. They've been playing this game for a long time, and for him to go get that in the circumstances with the degree of difficulty in which he got it this season is unbelievable. I mean, he's the defensive player of the year. You can make him the MVP if I had a vote, and I think the reaction of his teammates is genuine. That's real. These guys care about each other.
Very vocal by your president, Jim Schwartz. When you guys have been working together, he's been saying, like everyone else, he aspires to the top of this profession. What would your endorsement be at him to someone else who is looking at him?
Yeah, I love Jim. I love working with Jim. He and I are cut from the same cloth. He's more than deserving of those type of opportunities, and if that happens, I'd be thrilled for him.
Kevin, you hadn't worked with Jim prior to him. You hired him 3 years ago. What did you learn about him?
I can't take this press conference no more. The Cleveland media is terrible.
I mean, our office is right next.
I can't do it no more, guys. I can't take what the Cleveland media is asking Kevin Stefanski at this particular time. I can't do it no more. This is straight out diabolical, man. Straight out diabolical. They sitting there asking Kevin Stefanski some questions that ain't even imperative to what the game plan was today and how they got the victory. I told you, some people are the great deflectors. This is what the Cleveland media does, man. You got some of these insiders in the Cleveland media that can't acknowledge what just happened. Your rookie quarterback leads you down against a divisional opponent, and you get the win on the 2-minute drive. Now, if that was somebody like a Baker Mayfield or a Johnny Manziel, oh, man, y'all be throwing the party poppers like it was New Year's Eve. Y'all be glazing. Y'all be popping champagne. Y'all have the honey on your chest, twerking it up all over the place. But when it comes to Shedeur Sanders, he can't get no love. Like I saw one of the comments in the comments section, man, some of these media passes for the Cleveland media need to be revoked ASAP. ASAP. That's right. That's why Shedeur Sanders got that thing out there, Tamika. Legendary. Perfect timing. And today it was perfect timing. Bust down his AP. Because y'all just want to come in here and talk nonsense. Because y'all don't even look at everything that transpired through the course of the season. Somebody that got no first team reps. Somebody that just had to learn on the fly when he got on the football field and assess it the way he assessed it from his eyes, from the touch and feel, to build that trust, to build that continuity, to build the relationship. And he did everything in his power to make things right. With the offensive line that he had, and to move the ball in a 2-minute drill like he did, to put him in a position to win. Come on, man. That's all you can ask for, man. That's all you can ask for. Chat, I just want y'all to be real for a second. I want y'all to name the receivers that Shedeur Sanders had to throw to today. I want y'all to name the receivers, man. Please name the receivers. Name the receivers that Shedeur Sanders had to throw to today. Man, if I throw y'all names out there like Seth Carnella, where did Seth Carnella come from? He came from the practice squad last week when they played Pittsburgh. Brendan Bates, where did Brendan Bates come from? He came from the practice squad. Raheem Sanders, the running back, replacement for Quinshon Judkins. He was let go twice and found his way back on the Cleveland Browns roster. Malachi Corley, where did he come from? Cedric Tillman. Y'all know Cedric Tillman, and you know Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy probably made the 2 biggest catches of the game in the 2-minute drive to keep the drives alive. See, that's what y'all don't understand. Look at the receiving core that he had to throw to today. Sal Carnello came off the practice squad last week against Pittsburgh. Throwing to the backup tight end in Blake Whitehurst. Raheem Sanders, like I said, been cut twice. Found his way back on the Cleveland Brown roster. Jerry Jeudy, you know what Jerry Jeudy has been up and down all season long. Malachi Corley. Cedric Tillman. Isaiah Bond. What kind of receiving core is that? You going up against a receiving core in Cincinnati with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Come on, man. Tight end and Mike Brzezinski. Tight end and Noah Fant. Come on, you got 2 top, like I said, one of the top 2 best duos in the NFL. And what happened? The Cleveland Browns win the game today. Y'all, but y'all don't want to focus on that. Y'all don't want to focus on that. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Yeah, look, the hungry dogs. They looking for jobs. Who is Shedeur Sanders throwing to? And then you got that so much trust and belief in yourself in the 2-minute drive. You march your team all the way down the field and you get the victory, but don't nobody want to give you respect. Man, Shedeur Sanders did well with everything he had. Basically throwing the 3rd and 4th stringers and practice squad members. That's why I've always said, man, overall, this team is just bad, man. You got to regroup. You got to retool in the offseason, man. That's crazy. But you give Shedeur Sanders the threats of a Jamar Chase, a T. Higgins. You give him somebody like that. That's crazy. You give him the likes of a Stephon Diggs or a Butte. That's crazy. You give him the likes of a Justin Jefferson and a Jordan Addison. That's crazy. Look who Shedeur's throwing to. Shedeur Sanders' best target didn't even play today. He didn't play in the second half last week. Earl Fanning Jr. And you still come out there and get it done, but the haters fail to recognize what he has done. You just give Shedeur Sanders, just like his brother said last week when he threw that ball up to Jerry Jeudy and the ball was picked. He told his brother, that's not Travis Hunter out there. So that's a testament. That goes to show you that everything I've been saying is true. It's facts. This is crazy. Real recognize real, though. Real recognize real, man. Y'all got to understand that, man. But look, the season's over now. Where Cleveland goes from here, we don't know. It's all speculation out there. Because, on Overreaction Monday, it should be, Dark Moon Monday. Kevin Stefanski should be losing his job, but we got to see. We got to see. Cam Robinson definitely got to go. I don't see how Cam Robinson has a job in the NFL. I'm not trying to throw him out of the NFL, but Cam Robinson does nothing out there. And this is 2 weeks in a row that the announcers have got on Cam Robinson. You give Shedeur Sanders an efficient, an elite receiver, and some blocking, man, I'm telling you. And then the defense just gets healthy. Denzel Ward gets healthy. That whole defense gets healthy. Carson Schwarzenegger gets healthy. You still got Myles Garrett. Man, come on. And then you got Shedeur Sanders as your quarterback. Look at Shedeur Sanders did down the stretch, man. He got 3 victories, 2 back-to-back. Two back-to-back. That's what I'm saying. Hey, Selma Fudd, hey, it's got to be some coaching shakeups, man. It's got to be some coaching shakeups, man. I don't know where Cleveland goes from here, but as soon as all the reports break, I'm going to have it first thing here on Simply Ball Dropping. But y'all got to understand something, man. Man, take the hate out your heart, man. Take the hate out your heart, man. Start giving Shedeur Sanders his just due, man. He overcame a lot, man, and prevailed. And has went into the offseason as a winner. 2 back-to-back wins, man, against divisional opponents. Got a win last week against a team that was fighting to win the AFC North, and they didn't get it done. Shedeur Sanders got that victory and outplayed Aaron Rodgers. So look, we don't know where they're going to go from here. But I will tell you this. I will have all the news for you. We'll break it down step by step, moment by moment. But look, appreciate everybody that's tuned in, man. Appreciate all the love and support. But we're going to get up out of here. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.